Are you ready to 40x your productivity? What used to take 8 hours, I'm going to show you how to do it in under 8 minutes. On this episode, I'm pulling back the curtain on the ChatGPT and automation secrets that I've been teaching to mattress industry executives behind the scenes now for almost 2 years. The number one skill you need to develop right now, plus how mattress buyers are using AI to find products and how you can show up. What does this all mean for your business and how can you get plugged in to learn more? Let's flip the script on how you work forever. The FAM podcast starts right now. For the first time ever, top retailers can introduce the mattress that's been locked away inside of one of America's top mattress retailers until now. Introducing Prana Sleep, the ultimate luxury mattress collection designed by lifelong sleep industry leaders who set out to create the best sleep experience imaginable at any cost. Born from decades of industry expertise and real-world retail feedback, Prana Sleep doesn't just sell mattresses, it sells satisfaction, loyalty, and premium performance. Now, Prana Sleep is awarding these unparalleled products to a select group of top-tier retailers. Proudly made in the USA, Prana Sleep mattresses are handcrafted in private factories by top-tier craftspeople, ensuring exceptional quality and detail. What sets Prana Sleep apart? 100% natural materials, luxury latex, and the only machines in the world that quilt latex directly into the top panel for a one-of-a-kind, indulgent feel. Stand out in the marketplace with a mattress line engineered for luxury and crafted for those who demand the best. Your competition will hate selling against Prana Sleep because nothing compares. Prana Sleep, bring the secret to success into your stores today. Go to pranasleep.com now to apply. Did you know that 86% of customers buy from the first business that responds? And if you text back very quickly, that number jumps to over 90%. That's why Podium's AI employee, Jerry, is a game changer. Jerry never sleeps, never takes a lunch break, and never puts in a 2-week notice. He's always on, responding in seconds, so you never lose a lead again. Turn missed calls into texts, capture more leads, and close more deals, all with Podium. Want to see how it works? Get a demo today at podium.com/fam. Podium, because speed wins sales.
Welcome to the FAM podcast with Mark Kinsley. This is where the best in the bedding business get even better.
Hey fam, I know I said a lot there at the very beginning about 40xing your productivity, but I mean it. All right, we're going to get to it right out of the gates. If you're not watching on YouTube, I would suggest go over to thefam.com. We embed all the YouTube videos. This is going to allow you to see my behind the scenes personal workflow, how I use ChatGPT, how I use Notebook LM from Google, and a bunch of other tools that are going to 40x your productivity. And I mean it. Now, not in all areas, but man, eventually I think we're going to get there. So behind the scenes, like I said, I've been teaching mattress industry executives how to harness the power of generative AI, ChatGPT, automated workflows, even now agents that go out and do things on your behalf. And if you don't have your hands in the clay right now, this technology is going to change the way you work forever. It's going to increase efficiency. It's going to make you more creative. It's going to actually reduce the headcount that you have to hire in the future. And I know that's scary to a lot of people, but AI may not take your job, but somebody who knows how to use AI will. In the class that I teach, and we're actually going to be launching a program coming up in June, so stay tuned for details. But in the class that I teach in person to our mattress mentorship mastermind, I taught a group of King Coil executives. Shout out to David Binky and the entire crew doing great work down there in Phoenix and beyond. One of the things we talk about is taking this technology from toy to tool. So a lot of people, they'll chat with it a little bit and maybe it does something that is a little bit off and they're like, this is a toy that's broken. No, it's not. It's a tool that you need to learn how to use. So I'm going to share my screen. And like I said, if you're not watching on YouTube, it's okay. Once you get back from your walk or your commute, if you can hop on thefam.com, go over there and watch what I'm doing here, because I think it's really going to have an impact on your business. And I'm telling you, I'm going to help you 40x your productivity right now in certain areas. Okay. So here we go. We're going to hit this running. I know I'm going to move fast, but go back and watch it again. And you can always get the transcript and a lot of the notes over at thefam.com. How are we going to 40x your productivity? Well, with ChatGPT, you have an assistant in your pocket that can generate with you 200 ideas in 15 minutes versus a human alone can only generate 5 ideas in 15 minutes. And this is a study, and I've got a slide up on screen, that shows from Wharton Research that that number alone, if you're trying to generate ideas, 200 ideas versus 5 is a 40x increase in productivity. Now you might be saying, Kinsley, okay, great. I got a bunch of ideas, but are they any good? So they were generating ideas around products. And so they took those products and they put them in front of consumers and they tested them to see which are you most likely to buy. So based on that consumer's buying intent, the ChatGPT ideas with a human, those 200 ideas were graded at a higher purchase intent by that consumer. So better quality ideas. Okay, so let's take it a step further because sometimes people have a little bit of pride of authorship and they're like, I'm an expert. So I know what I'm doing. Maybe it's going to help me a little bit, but I'm the expert. Well, that's what another study said about doctors. These doctors were given ChatGPT and they were told to diagnose these very, very challenging medical cases that are used to basically test to see how smart doctors are and if they're good at diagnosing, which is a key ingredient. Doctors without ChatGPT, 74% got it correct. They diagnosed it correctly. Doctors with ChatGPT, so they had access to it, only a 2% lift. But whenever ChatGPT analyzed it alone, and I'm sure they had to feed it some very calculated but like crisp and non-biased prompts, ChatGPT alone was a 90% accuracy rate. So think about that. If the doctors were essentially from reading the study and putting some basically some analysis around it, these doctors were looking at ChatGPT and probably saying, no, that's not right. I'm the expert. I know better. And they don't. And if you think about if you're a small town doctor in the middle of a cornfield in Kansas, you have access to only so much information. It's hard to get to an airport. It's hard to get to professional development. Now you have all of medical, all big medical information in one generative AI large language model that you can tap into that pool of information, and it's going to spit out good quality diagnosis for the person sitting in front of you. This is why it goes back to a podcast I did with Blake, who was basically talking about how Blake Austin, he was like, hey, I was listening to a guy talk about how at some point in the future, it's going to be illegal to not use AI in medicine and in diagnosis. So it is better than us, and it's going to give us better quality ideas. And there you go. That's your 40x increase in productivity. But how do you get there? Like, how do you actually use this tool? Now, let me back up for a minute. And if you're watching on the screen, this is your learning path. And I want you to take a moment here to think about your own experience with ChatGPT and AI. I want you to take this from being a toy to a tool, from a toy to a tool. And a lot of times what happens is you try stuff out with the toy and it doesn't work, or maybe it does something really cool and you have this big wow moment. But then as you keep going along, that learning path troughs and it leads to overwhelm. Like, oh my gosh, what does this all mean? Am I going to lose my job? What does it mean for my children? On and on it goes. And so that overwhelm sets in, and a lot of people abandon things at that trough. I don't want you to abandon it because this is going to be as ubiquitous as electricity and water at some point. AI is just going to be running in the background. We don't marvel every time we walk in a room and the lights come on anymore, but it's going to be that prevalent. And so on your learning path, I want you to go from wow to experience that overwhelm, give yourself permission, but then get into daily usage, because having your hands in the clay each day is going to help you reveal what it can do, what questions to ask, and how you can start applying it in your business. Yeah, and 92% of Fortune 500 companies that have adopted generative AI technology already. That number is going to go to 100%. So what is the basic skill that you need to learn? It is prompt engineering, or as I say, becoming a good prompt boss. And as a good boss, if you give your employee really good inputs, you're going to get better outputs. If you put garbage in, you're going to get garbage out. But if you're a good prompt boss, you're going to give them the role, the goal, the topic, the details, that specific information that's going to help them succeed with the task that you want them to do. And here's the key that a lot of people miss. Once you give ChatGPT the information you want, if it comes back with something that's inaccurate or is not what you wanted, don't abandon it at that point. Refinement. Refinement is key. Refinement is key. Keep talking to it, keep working with it. Okay, so there's your 40x increase in productivity by just making this your thought partner. And the beautiful thing is you have this thought partner on your phone at all times. Download the app, pay the $20 a month. It's going to be the best $20 you've ever spent. ChatGPT is trending toward 1 billion users, and you don't want to be left behind. And I'm telling you right now, you're not behind. You're going to be in the top 5% of people just by getting to daily usage. And like I said, if you have questions, if you want to reach out to me, I'm so passionate about this and the change that it's going to create in our industry and beyond. Drop me a note, mark@thefam.com. I'm working privately with executive teams. I'm helping them understand making this your assistant, implementing automations, and then unlocking the power of agents, which go and do things on your behalf. But one of the promises I made here was, hey, let's actually do something right here live, right now. I know it's risky, that goes from a task that used to take over 8 hours down to 8 minutes. Okay, so we all put together presentation decks, and we need good content for those presentation decks. Maybe you're putting together something that's a training program for your RSAs around a new product line. So let's go there for a minute and let's have a hypothetical. So let's say the hypothetical is you, shout out to Prana Sleep. I went to their factory recently and I was super inspired. So let's imagine that Prana Sleep is going to be a new brand that you carry on your floor. Well, what do you got to do at that point? I mean, there's a lot of information you got to create. Everything, from getting the information that's going to be visible in store, but more importantly is like all the product information that you need to feed into your systems. And let's take it from a training standpoint. So we've talked a lot about ChatGPT, but in my groups and behind the scenes with my executive teams, we're starting to what I call build our own company brains. So think about it like this. Actually, I'm going to keep these slides up because this is relevant. Think about it like this. So ChatGPT is like all of the internet. It goes out and it's grabbing all this information in a text format, and it's synthesizing that information into something meaningful for you based on what you ask it. Notebook LM, which is a Google product that you can chat with, is like an evidence locker. Have you ever seen the police shows and they go in the evidence locker and there are guns and drugs and all kinds of things in boxes and maybe even body parts? The evidence locker is private. Okay, said differently, ChatGPT is like walking into a library and you have access to all that information. You just look around and kind of chat with your screen and it's going to get all the information from the library. But it doesn't have access to your file cabinet that's locked. So I want to show you about a system called Notebook LM by Google that's going to be like your file cabinet. It's only going to give you information based on what you put in it. So it's not going to randomly go out and scour and spider the internet and bring it back to you. So if you only uploaded a document with the words, I love my dog, it would only be able to do something with that information. So, okay, why is this important? Again, it goes back to you being able to create relevant information for your business, whether it's around the brands that you're carrying, your training situation, and how you deploy that internally. On and on it goes. Marketing, finance, sales, operations. Everybody can have their own brain for the business so they can access and do something with that information. So, okay, if you're watching, hopefully you are, but if you're not, it's okay. I'm going to give you play-by-play and color commentary as we go along here. So I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to show you this Prana Sleep example. We're just going to share the entire window. It's going to look a little crazy for a minute. Boom. But I'm going over here and I'm showing you this app called Website Content Crawler. And what I did is I wanted to take all of pranasleep.com And I wanted to grab all that information from their website, all of the text, every bit of it. And so I basically spidered their site using this program, and I pulled in all the text from pranasleep.com. Cool. Now, what do we do with that? Well, I need to get that into a format that I could feed into my Notebook LM brain so I can build my Prana Sleep brain, because I'm running Mark's Mattress, and Mark's Mattress just brought in Prana Sleep. And I want to develop some training materials for my team so they can start to get to know the brand and understand how to sell it and what makes it unique and different. Awesome. Okay. So first of all, it gave me a CSV file, which is like an Excel file. And unfortunately, my notebook over here, it doesn't take as a source that type of file. So I just went to ChatGPT. Again, you have an assistant here in your pocket. So I went to ChatGPT and I said, hey, create a TXT file, because that's what this is going to take. And bam, I created that TXT file and I fed it in here, and it uploaded all the text from the Prana Sleep website. You can see it right here. This is just a limited amount of it, but boom, if you see me scrolling and you see this little dot over here on the side, look how much information that is. Just thousands and thousands of pages. So cool. Now, what I want to do is I want to show you what you can do with this. So first and foremost, when you're looking at Notebook LM, you have your sources, your chat feature, which is what you're familiar with if you use GPT, and you have a studio, which we're going to get to here in a minute. But what I did is, once I fed that in here, I'm just going to show you because I pre-built this. I said, hey, develop a 10-slide presentation about the benefits of Prana Sleep, and the content should help me train my mattress salespeople. So again, Notebook LM is only going to reference this information that I fed it. It's source-based. And so bam, it spit it out. Looks pretty good. Welcome to Prana Sleep. Sleep deeply, live boldly. Prana Sleep is dedicated to helping customers sleep deeply and live boldly. And then it goes on. So now I've got my 10 slides. So to reset you, I know I'm throwing a lot at you. We're going to do in less than 8 minutes what used to take 8 hours, because you would go to the website and you would copy and paste all the pages and the information. And then you'd have to do an outline and put it into something meaningful and put it into slides and go over to PowerPoint, build PowerPoint. Nobody's that good at PowerPoint. On and on it went, and then send it to marketing. At least 8 hours, and plus the headache. Nobody wanted to do it. So now we scraped the website. Took a few minutes. That was probably the longest piece of the process. We uploaded it to our brain in Notebook LM, and then we asked it a question. Give me 10 slides. So now we're going to take these 10 slides and we're simply going to copy this information with a click of a button. Bam, copy. And then we're going to go to gamma.ai. Gamma.ai. Super cool. They're at 50 million users now, and I'm going to show you why. So we go over here and, well, first of all, I'm like, well, wait a minute. I want this theme to look like Prana Sleep. So I'm going to go to new theme, and it's like, hey, I need a PowerPoint file. Cool. I've got a PowerPoint deck from Prana that they provided. Let's just put that in here. And it's going to go ahead and automatically build a theme based on what it sees. So it's looking at the brand colors and the fonts and the style of imagery and things like that. And it's actually building this for us. Again, once you do this part of it, like once you have, maybe it's a slide deck for your actual mattress company, like your retail stores. Once you do this piece of the puzzle, like build that theme, that's done. So I say less than 8 minutes, but in that 8 minutes, I'm actually taking up time to do this. Cool. Looks really good. It's got the colors. It's got the logo in here. It's got everything. It just did it. So we're going to save and finish. And now let's go work some magic. So I go back to this homepage and I say, create with AI. And remember, I have 10 slides. I have copy from 10 slides that I wanted to create a slide presentation around. I paste it in there. I click configure, and it's going to say to me, hey, yeah, this all look good. Do you want 8 cards? No, I want 10. I'm going to go to 10 cards. I'm going to hit continue. Now it says, what theme do you want? Well, I want my custom theme from Prana Sleep. Bam, looks good. I click generate. And now here's where the magic happens. If you're watching on YouTube, it's populating the text. It's typing it out. You see the spinning. It's generating images. That's all generated by GPT, by the way. Now you can go back and you can upload your own images and you can tell the system to use your own stuff. Bam. Core technology and design. Why Prana sleep feels different. And it's got these beautiful icons and imagery. Explore the mattress collection. Spotlight on the Om collection. It's really good. It's better than a first draft of anything that I could ever bang out. And, you know, I love PowerPoint and Keynote and Canva and all that stuff. So like I said less than 8 minutes, way less than 8 minutes. So think about your use cases. And this is one of the things that I coach our executives in the program is find the friction, right? Don't think about ChatGPT as something you're just going to go and do a little bit here and do a little bit there and write some emails and create some social media posts. I want you to start thinking about, like, where's the friction in my business? I want to compress that time frame down so that you're going from idea to finished product in a matter of moments as opposed to a matter of months. And one of the really cool exercises we do in the class that we teach is we have everybody develop a marketing campaign. A lot of times it's a Memorial Day or a Labor Day campaign where you get headline, body copy, image, and promotion. So the actual promotion, like what is the offer? And I'm telling you, people will tell me frequently, this used to take 2 months to get to this point, and it's now taking me 2 minutes. And that's what I'm talking about with exceeding 40xing your productivity. Okay, so now let's talk about chat search. So ChatGPT, cool. So how are consumers searching for products, and how is that going to impact your business? Well, let's get to it, because ChatGPT now very recently has announced a feature that allows users to search for different products, and it's going to come up in their field of view, and they're going to be able to navigate that very differently. Think about how they do it today. Google. You got to go to Google. You got to search through websites and look back and forth. Well, people don't want to do that, especially when you can type in, help me find a great mattress, and then it's going to give you the options and talk about why this is a great mattress, as opposed to you having to just sift through everything and be a detective. So I actually, best mattress recommendations. Okay, so if you see my screen right now, I pre-populated this with a little search. Okay, help me find a great mattress I can purchase. And wow, this is a nice experience. It came up with the Helix Midnight Lux Hybrid, the Sattva 11.5-inch Queen, the Nectar Premier Memory, and then you can kind of scroll over. And then below it says, here's why, like here's the top picks explained. Back pain, side sleepers, budget options. And then I was like, well, okay, these are known brands. What are some off the beaten path mattress brands that are more boutique and not mentioned above? That's what I typed in. It gave me Obasan from Canada, Vispring from the UK, Naturepedic, McCroskey, Savvy Rest, Heston's, Winkle, Spindle. Not bad. I mean, there are a few on there that I would like to see, but it goes back to a lesson that I want to underscore for you. These systems are still going to be text-based, and they're still going to rely on some form of search engine optimization. I don't know that I could tell you exactly what to do to check those SEO boxes for a ChatGPT searcher, shopper, but that information is going to become much more accessible as these systems evolve. But it's still going to be text-based, because generative AI is going out there and it's looking at all the words, and it's able to use optical recognition as well to look at images and interpret what those are. But you still have to produce content. Like, you still need content. And if you can imagine, the next phase of this, me as a shopper, I'm looking at it going, okay, well, which is the best for side sleepers that cost less than $200? And then it narrows it down. And then it gets to this point. I said to the system, I live in zip code 72712, which is Northwest Arkansas. Show me stores where I can buy these mattresses. And what did it do? It gave me the Nectar Premier Memory Foam. Find it at Mattress Firm. It gave me the Helix Midnight Lux. You can find it at Galleria Furniture and Mattress Outlet. Now that's in Oklahoma City. Walmart Supercenter has the Brooklyn Bedding Aurora Luxe. You can see the flaws here. And that's what I want to point out. We need to understand the way these systems are going to operate and source information and then present that to the users, but it's going to be content based. So once the version of optimizing your store for Google Maps comes along for ChatGPT, that's what we're going to be working on. And that's one of the reasons I've had so many people get plugged in with the FAM and the M3 groups and the AI trainings that we've been doing, is because this is moving so fast and you want to be able to successfully navigate it. So definitely stay tuned. We got a program launching in June. If you want me to do anything personally with you, you can join other executive teams that have engaged for these very purposes, because man, it's going to take that consistency of understanding how to use the tools, understanding how to be a great prompt boss, and then ultimately understanding where the technology is headed. I know I'm throwing a lot at you, so I hope that you can go back and slow down and understand some of the strides that we made here in this episode. But to recap, we can 40x your productivity just by having this thought partner, and this thought partner is in your pocket at all times, and you can talk to it. It sounds real. We got into building a brain for your business using Notebook LM, and it's a Google product. And like I said, that's source based. You can set up lots of different notebooks. Oh, and one thing I didn't share, let's go back to Notebook LM. So we 40x our productivity, we built a brain for our business, and you understood ChatGPT product search and how it's going to impact you. But one more little bonus here for you. So I'm going to share my entire screen again for those of you playing along at home. And I'm going to go back into Notebook LM because this is super, super mind-blowing cool. Okay. We got our Prana Sleep product loaded in. We're bringing it into the store. We're so excited, and we want to teach our people about it. So cool. Why don't we just share this notebook with them? And if you can see up on screen, you can add like a welcome note to it, and you can say, hey, I just want to give them access to the chat. I don't want them to be able to change anything, but I want them to be able to chat. Yeah, they can chat back and forth and they can learn. So how do you learn with it? You could say, hey, by the way, I have a lot of tools I use. One of them is Whisper Flow. That allows me to just punch a button and talk. And that way I don't have to type as much. And so I'm going to punch the button here. I'm going to talk, and I'm going to say, develop a 5-question quiz about Prana Sleep mattresses. So boom, it's going to pop up. It's thinking a little bit. And as you can see over here on the right-hand side, as it is thinking, I wanted to point out this third section. You're going to spend most of your time right here in the chat as you develop content and as you ask questions. Over here on the source side, you're going to add sources. You can add websites and YouTube videos and Google Docs, or even text that you copy. So that's the source of the material it's going to pull from. And then, okay, boom, here we go. Test your understanding of key features and benefits of Prana Sleep mattress. And so it's got the first question: what is the primary type of latex featured in the core and comfort layers of many Prana Sleep mattresses? And then look at this. I want to show you something. Like I said, it's source-based. So all this information is actually being referenced in the copy that it provides. So you can click here. You can be like, oh, wait a minute. It takes you over there to where it's cited within the piece of the brain that it's pulling from, which is super cool. Now, so you can see, okay, you can develop study guides and quizzes and all that fun stuff just by chatting with it. Now, here's where it's going to blow your mind. Ready? You can click this one button, and based on the information you've got in your brain, it's going to develop a podcast for you. And it sounds so real. Okay, you ready for this?
Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're tackling something pretty fundamental: sleep.
Yeah, sleep. It's huge.
We've gathered, a really interesting mix of stuff articles, website info, and our mission is basically to pull out the key insights for you.
Right, so you can get better rest, live healthier, starting like right away.
We've looked at, well, all sorts of things, haven't we?
Definitely. Everything from, the nitty-gritty on mattresses and pillows to broader stuff like healthy habits, yoga, nutrition, even just setting up your bedroom right.
I know, just absolutely insane, huh? But this is where the world is going. And I want you to be prepared. I want you to get your hands in the clay. I want you to start using this daily, and think about some of the use cases for your own teams, whether it's training and learning about different products you sell, or getting your new people onboarded and up to speed. Um, it's like the possibilities are limitless. That's why I keep telling these executive teams I'm working with, part of the skill here is not just becoming a good prompt boss, which is really great, solid communication. It's also using these tools enough so that you understand what's possible and you start unlocking your vision. Vision is going to be another key aspect to the builders of the future, because if you don't know what to build, if you don't know what to ask, if you don't have something that your imagination can come up with and spark, then you're not going to know what to say to these tools. You're not going to know how to unlock the power of them. Now, I'll give you a little hack on that, though. One thing you can do is you can have ChatGPT ask you questions. You can have ChatGPT be your learning partner as well. So if you don't have vision, start talking to it about the things that you do in your day-to-day life. Find the friction. Start talking to it about what your vision should be, getting clarity around that, thinking bigger, and it can help you. So no excuses anymore. Thank you so much for letting me take you on a whirlwind trip here through 40xing your productivity, building a brain for your business, how ChatGPT is going to shape product searches in the future. And then let me help you, kind of take you behind the scenes on some of the stuff that we're doing. If I can help you, email me, mark@thefam.com. I'm working with executive teams on this, and we're going to launch our group program coming up in June. So if you want to get plugged into that, make sure you're subscribed to our newsletter. Just go to thefam.com. And I've got my finger on the pulse of this so that I can curate it, show you the tools I'm using, bring back great information, and help you improve your business and concentrate on the things that are highest value for you. Share this podcast with your team, with a friend, with your team, with your executive folks. And like I said, feel free to reach out to me anytime and join us back here every Monday for the FAM podcast.